Hi there, this is the Aaron Zero Show. This is the podcast version of the Aaron Zero Show. And what are today's headlines? October 18th, 24. Let's have a look. Well, Indians are UK's leading success story. That's what it says. They've been occupants of 10 Downing Street and top of the country's rich list. Rishi Sunak and the Hinduja family, and the UK think tank Policy Exchange breaks down the key highlights why Indians are on top in education and prosperity. Well, according to their point system, Indians are at 95 points, and then they are followed by Chinese and white Irish at 90 points, white British at 60 points, 55 for Pakistani, 45 for black African, and 40 for Bangladeshi black Caribbean. And the biggest chunk of Indians are in jobs. 6 of 10 Indians in UK are salaried persons. Community also has among the largest share of those that are self-employed, like me, for example. I'm a slacker, but anyway, that's a different story. So, white British are 62% economically active. Indian is also 62%. Then comes Pakistani at 53, Black African 52, Chinese 47, Bangladeshi 43. And half them occupy top roles, largest share of professionals holding directorship or senior managerial positions at workplace. Indians 49.6, Chinese 47.5, white British 32.4, black African 32.3, Pakistani 30.2, Bangladeshi 25.4. And taking home better pay than others, large share in workers in white collar jobs, while they are having a higher hourly pay than the others. Um, so it says 11.6% Indian, 10.3 white British, and average hourly pay, I guess this would be 16 pounds. 16.1 pounds is Indian, 13.5 is white British, 12.4 is black, and 12 pounds is Pakistani English, Bangladeshi, sorry. Uh, Zooming ahead on the property ownership, 71% of them own a home, 68% white British, 65% Pakistani, 64% Chinese, 42% Bangladeshi, 23% are black African. So Indians are second only to Chinese when it comes in educational outcomes. And the Chinese are at 66.1, Indians are 61.3, and they contribute to better socialization than other groups. They have a stable family background, smallest share of children living in a single parent household, and they contribute to better socialization than other Asian groups. So this is where the black Africans score a lot. Their social integration. The black Africans are at top with 63.5%, Indians and Chinese. And so anyway, that is how good the Indians are doing in England, though they don't want the Indians there. They want to cut off the visas, so I heard. And here on the front lines, what we see is Bangladeshis entering Assam after March 24, 1971, are illegal immigrants, according to the Supreme Court. And 1971 was when there was the War of Independence, and which India took part and contributed to the independence of the country of Bangladesh, which was then known as East Pakistan. And of course, it used to be earlier a part of India before 1947. So, what else do we see? Uh, so, and the Bangladesh government just now has issued arrest warrants against Hasina, who was the deposed president, and 45 others, prominent politicians. So they want to arrest her, and of course, at present, I believe she's in India and claiming asylum. So that is what's happening there. And it's time to bury the past, says the Pakistani Prime Minister Nawaz in an outreach to the Prime Minister Modi, and he met with the Foreign Minister, Mr. Jaishankar, and he says India is our neighbor, and we can't change that even if we want to. We would have liked Modi to come to the SCO meet, the Shanghai Cooperation meet, but it's good that Jaishankar came. We have tried again to normalize ties. We lost the past 75 years. It's important we don't lose another 75 years. So that's what the Pakistani Prime Minister says, while every other day there's a terrorist attack in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, where chaps are coming across the border and attacking people, mainly people who are not Muslim but Hindus and stuff like that. And United States says it's satisfied with India's cooperation in the Panun probe. Mr. Panun is a lawyer and a Sikh fellow who is he's pretty sick anyway, who has a dual citizenship, and he's a citizen of Canada and USA, and he is a terrorist who espouses the cause of Khalistan, an imaginary state in his Kali head. Kali in Hindi means empty, of course. That's what it is. And of course, they were blaming Indian agents for trying to kill him. Unfortunately, the Indian agents didn't succeed. Maybe next time they'll get lucky. Who knows? And at the same time, the Ministry of External Affairs says that Canada is unresponsive on 26 extradition requests, including for Bishnoi gang members. Lawrence Bishnoi gang is a gang that operates in India and does fraud and murder, amongst other things, and recently murdered a prominent Indian politician. So, of course, the Indians have been seeking Canadian cooperation since the downing of, I think it was a Pan Am flight in 1982 over Lockerbie, Scotland, and the then Prime Minister, whose name was also Trudeau, refused to help India in extraditing any of those people responsible. So that is Canadian cooperation for you. They blame India, but they are giving shelter to terrorists and extremists who enter Canada illegally and then claim asylum. And then they're granted asylum and become Canadian citizens, and they continue their good work of terrorism from Canada. So the other headline out here, it says that Israel killed Yahya Sinwar, architect of October 7 attack, and it seemed to be just a lucky break when Israeli troops were there in Gaza, going through a building that they saw a guy there and they shot. But here's the thing, I'm sure Mr. Sinwar is a hero to the Palestinian people for standing up to Israeli oppression Israeli apartheid and Israeli terrorism, because that is the roots of all the resistance struggle against Israelis, the Hamas, and all that sort of stuff. That's the way I see it. And of course, stealing of the land, that's another story. So, the Palestinians were living in Gaza, which was described as an open air prison. They were not free to go about and needed a freaking ID card issued by Israelis to go and come and go about freely. So they were prisoners in their own land, and whatever little land they had left was being grabbed and is being grabbed by the Israeli settlers. So that is the main story. Those are the main stories there. And of course, one of the entertainment bits is that the former One Direction singer, Liam Payne, whose One Direction band went on to have some chart topping hits. He has been found dead in Buenos Aires, in Argentina, apparently falling from a hotel balcony. So we don't know what it was. And of course, the Donald Trump, or you could call him the Orange Clown, he stands by his claims that immigrants in Ohio were eating pets, telling Latino voters during a town hall he was just saying what was reported. Of course, he knows it's a bloody lie, and he is just trying to uh, create some kind of diversion and some kind of comfort for his white voters who hate all brown and black faces. So that is the viewpoint of us. And what do we have here? What do we have here? Well, the Yamuna River of Delhi is still pretty filthy and finds surfactants to be main culprit. So there are a lot of affluents. Nine of all effluents are banned for inclusion in detergents in many countries, but India has no regulations. NP is a chemical component, and this is the cause of frothing in the Yamuna, a visible proof of pollutants in the river, toxic links, and so the river is getting intoxicated. And who knows when we will be able to see it be clean. And then, of course, the police have caught and accused a gym owner's killing, held after an encounter. And the cops are quite smart on that. And now they're telling us this is better revelation that running is very good for the body and mind. Well, we knew that long time ago. Increases the heart rate, very good for health and wellness, running. But I would stand out for walking too. Walking too is very good for your heart rate, for your body, everything else is good. So it's not just running. And then we have the strange case of kids who are calling up airlines and saying there's a bomb on board. And so they are disrupting the flight operations of many airlines. And so 13 more flights, isolated incidents, says the minister, and 40 such calls have been released in the last 4 days. And there is a move to put them on the no-flight list. And who knows, maybe some jail time also would be good for our young friends who do crank calls or prank calls and probably hope to get famous on the internet. And on this day in 1867, the US bought Alaska from Russia for $7.2 million, which works out to 2 cents an acre. They got a good deal now. What can I say? 2 cents an acre. I think I can afford that. So that is another thing in advance. What else do we have here? We have a lot of news. Trudeau lying to distract his party's revolt, says his main opponent and conservative leader has come and attacked home with his main opponent, Conservative Party's Pierre Poilievre, accusing him of lying and winning 2 elections with China's help, while making misleading claims about India's interference in Ottawa's internal affairs. And he responded to Trudeau about links, was not responding to his message to reveal the names of MPs who collaborated with foreign interference. And he is lying to distract from a liberal caucus revolt against his leadership. And he wants to he wants China to help him win 2 elections, said the conservative leader. And must be true. I don't know. I don't stay in Canada. And the other headline here we have is Canada as a safe haven for criminals wanted in India, and that the Canadians have been indifferent to extradition pleas since 2003. And there's a gap between actions and words, according to the ministry, uh, as per Trudeau's comments. And what else do we have here of shaking importance? Very important here. A Madhya Pradesh girl has been crowned Miss India World 2024, and Madhya Pradesh is a state in India, in the center, and followed up by two runner-up girls, one from Bombay and the other from Gujarat. So that is the beauty pageant for you of these girls. And I think now we are going to call it a day. And thank you for watching or listening to the Aaron Zero podcast. You can always catch us around this time, and we hope you are doing well. So, goodbye and good luck to you.